Good morning, Bob Sokoler, Louisville Real Estate Show, News Radio 840 WHAS. Hello.
This is Bill Bob.
Yeah.
I've got a Federal Pacific breaker box and thinking about selling my house and getting it ready. What's the best thing to do about that?
Okay, so, yeah, Brad, go ahead, because we see this a lot.
Yeah.
And it seems like every time I go into a home, and it depends on the age of the home, it's, I go down to the basement, we look, and then I go into, there's a Federal Pacific, here's where the problems are. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the Federal Pacific, sometimes they'll know it as a Stablock panel. It'll go by either name. Well, it's called Federal Pacific is the manufacturer. They no longer manufacture those panels. If you go out and you Google it, you'll find out that houses are burning down all over the country. There's still many homes in Louisville that have Federal Pacific panels. The challenge with the Federal Pacific panel is that as they get older, you're no longer able to buy parts for them. So you can't have you can't get the breakers anymore for them. So the problem is that we always recommend when we see a Federal Pacific box that an electrician do a further evaluation on it. In fact, my son has a Federal Pacific panel in his house that had an electrician looked at it and said, hey, it's perfectly fine. Now, at some point you want to upgrade it just because, those panels are now getting to be 30 plus years old. And, it's probably time for a new panel. But you can't get parts anymore, and there's just a lot of negative press on them. So ask your electrician to take a look at the specific panel, make sure it's safe.
I'm actually doing a search online for Federal Pacific, and there's a whole bunch to read.
Yep.
Right?
There is
oodles of stuff. But I've also heard, I don't have a Federal Pacific panel, but that where you can find parts, the cost of the breakers to replace are so expensive.
Yes, and I think the only sources for them are out of Canada right now, where they still sell Federal Pacific panels.
Are they in business up in Canada? I'm looking that up right now.
Yes, they are.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
You would think that Canada,
right?
You need to look into these Federal Pacific panels.
Right.
Wow, that's
well. It also tells you what that there may be a different type, more of a litigation issue than an actual safety issue. But they stopped selling them in the U.S.
So what I'm hearing from you, and this is a great advice. So if you've got a Federal Pacific, even if you're not selling your home, it might be worth it to have an electrician come out and look at the panel just to make sure that's in working order.
Right. Make sure it's in working order. Make sure that it is still safe, that it's not overheating in any of the areas.
Yeah.
It's the similar type of discussion we've had previously about aluminum wiring.
I think that's so important, and I think just bringing this up, because the last thing we want to have to do is hear about a problem like this in the news. If you're thinking about selling your home, we have a free, no-obligation booklet that has hundreds of useful tips. You want a copy? It's very simple. Send me an email, bob@WeSellLouisville.com, and then put selling tips in the subject line, and we will send that out to you immediately. Again, no cost, no obligation, very simple.